Kelsi here with WrestlingNews.co, and I'm with the most versatile man in all of wrestling, Colt Cabana.
Hello.
And you're once again national champion.
Hey, it's about time, right? Yeah, it's exciting. NWA Power with 3 R's is on YouTube, and I got the opportunity to wrestle James Storm when I wasn't hurt, and I was able to win, and hopefully I'll be the national champion for a long time now.
I really hope so, and I'm really enjoying NWA Power, and I think the word that keeps popping up, as Lagana keeps saying, is the word different. It's so different from everything else.
Doing an awful job. I'll take it over from here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with my dad, Colt Cabana. Colt, how you feeling today?
I'm great.
Please get out of frame.
But Kelsi does such a great job. Don't make her get out.
She's awful.
Game.
Kelsi, you just hit me? Wait, all right, look, Four Eyes. If you ever touch me again, I will sue. Colt, how you feeling today?
Do you need a lawyer? I know a good one.
We both do. We're both Jewish.
Okay, yes. I'm good. She was asking some really good questions.
I highly doubt that.
Do you have good questions?
Of course I do.
Go on. What was your good question? How are you doing?
Here's my question. What's the deal with you and AEW? Is there any interest there for you to want to work for the same company that your son works in?
You're not allowed to say that on these things.
I can't talk about this?
Scandalous.
Oh, no.
See, Kelsi knows not to ask the questions that make me feel uncomfortable. But you're not
Staring at you, waiting for an answer.
Well, listen, son. I didn't necessarily raise you, but your genetics have gotten you to AEW,
Yep.
and those genetics are there for a reason. That's why you're such a good wrestler. And have
Well, I'm a great wrestler because of my mentor, best friend, the American Nightmare, the roller coaster, Cody Rhodes.
Right, but the genetics wouldn't. The makeup wouldn't be there in order to be molded by him, and it's almost like I passed him on as the father that
I'll allow it.
I was supposed to be. Now that we've rekindled ever since the DNA test at AEW, we know it's official. So, you're there, and that's what's important to me is that you're making millions of dollars, and I'm still making $200 in a handshake on Independence.
There you have it, folks. The Young Bucks are not interested in signing Colt Cabana. I am MJF signing off.
It was so great to be graced by his presence.
Yeah.
Eye roll.
Eye roll emoji.
He does ask some hard-hitting questions.
He really did.
And since we got interrupted and he started with the hard-hitting questions, ROH, there's a lot of rumors swirling about, how is the locker room feeling? Is it tough right now?
The last 2 shows, I don't know, the last show I did was ROH Unauthorized, and I hosted it. And I booked my friend Ian and Todd and Gary Johnson.
That was awesome. Todd jumping up over the guy. Oh, my God.
So, after that show, everyone was really happy, and we were having a good time, and that show was such a good time, and I recommend checking it out on Honor Club. So if that's what you're asking, that locker room was very happy that night. It was very fun.
It looked like a fun show. I was really excited to see Ian drop the elbow.
Oh, the big bows. Big bows by Ian. Big bows Riccaboni, they call him.
Since we're on the ROH train, what does Ring of Honor have to do, or do they have to do anything at all to differentiate and to compete with all the other promotions popping up and all the other promotions out there right now?
Yeah, we have to keep to what ROH is known for, and that's great wrestling. So I think all the sidetrack stuff maybe has to be sidetracked, and it's just about the wrestling. And I do think that the Ring of Honor roster is loaded. You look at people like Roosh, and Jay Lethal, and Marty Scurll, and Haskins, and Tracy Williams, Jonathan Gresham. Just when you start listing them off, you're like, oh, God, that is an amazing roster. So if you just let them go out there and wrestle, I think that's the way to go, and that's how you win the fans back.
I think the wrestling speaks for itself, and it really shines there.
Yeah.
I think if they stick to that, they'll be good.
I do, too.
So back to NWA Power,
Okay.
how it's different from everything else. How do you feel being a part of the promotion and with the new show?
I love it. I think it's really cool. I'm a little more serious on there because, Billy Corrigan and Dave Lagana, they really have a vision, and I'm happy to take part in any vision. And that's kind of, they want that NWA old school feel, and I'm very, like you said, very versatile. I can chameleon my way into anything, and so I'm having a good time. The studio audience there is they were great fans. They were going along with everything. They were playing around. They were being emotionally invested, and that's what you ask for out of fans. And so it's really cool. And I look forward to going back December 14th for the pay-per-view, and then the 2 TV tapings afterwards, the 15th and the 16th.
I think what makes it so easy for the fans to get into it are the great old school feeling promos. I think that's probably the cherry on top of the whole thing. That's the best part of the show.
Well, for me, the best part is, and I've heard back and forth, But I think Aaron Stevens is so funny.
Is
And there's
the
some people-
pirate, the tropical pirate.
There's some people who don't feel that way, but watching him throughout those TV tapings, I'm like, oh, he is so good. And I think he steals the show, and there's a couple more shows he does left. There's a couple angles that are going to play into it that you're going to love, I think. And so for me, it's keep your eye out on Aaron Stevens.
Yeah, he's great, but what's with the trunks, man?
That's just part of the fun.
No, I know. So you kind of mentioned it a little bit. You had to give up the title. You had blood clot issues, and we were all really scared for you. How is that like being sidelined? It must have been scary.
Yeah, I had a hematoma and in my quad, and it just blew up to like 4 times the size. And you know, it happened to me before, and so I knew it would go down. But it's just about waiting. And so I had to cancel a bunch of dates, which if you know me, it's like I hate doing it.
Including in my hometown of New Orleans.
Yeah.
That's okay, though. We'll get you next time.
Sorry. And I've canceled on Luke a couple times because of injury, so I feel so bad. Luke Hawks, who runs Wildcat Wrestling, it's a wonderful promotion, and I will be there eventually.
I know you will. You never shy away from any bookings. We know that.
Right. So to have to not do the bookings was hurting, but I knew it would go away, and it did go away, and now I'm back at it.
We're happy to see you back because we were really scared there for a little while. But you're champion again. How does that feel with this like kind of new era of NWA?
Yeah. I'm excited. The tapings are going to be great. I enjoy representing the NWA, and that the NWA has faith in me, and that means a lot. And so it's really cool. I look forward to the next tapings.
So let's talk about the wrestling landscape. You know, it's ever changing, but I feel like it's in a boom right now. I mean, we're here at a wrestling convention, the 4th one, and this one's in regards to an AEW pay-per-view. You know, what's the climate like? What do you think about it?
Well, I mean, I've been doing conventions for the past 20 years, so like they happen, and the wrestling fans find out where the good stuff is, and they come, and that's how it is. So, yeah, in terms of mainstream boom, yeah, because it's USA and TNT Network now, but also you got to remember me, I've been lurching on the underground for 20 years now, so that's kind of where I make my money, and you know, the mainstream stuff really doesn't ask for me, and I don't ask for it, so I'm just doing my thing.
Speaking about doing your thing, I think you're so good at pushing your brand, pushing your merch, pushing you as a product.
Yeah.
Talk about doing that.
I'm a human being, though.
I know, but you're also just great to consume what you put out there. Like your podcast, that's one of my favorite things ever. You know, you went from doing interviews to more of like a vlog, but for audio type of thing.
And now so the weekly podcast has come to an end, but now basically I've set up a Patreon /Colt Cabana where you can listen to all the old archives. There's almost 9 years. And then in 2020, I'm going back to some of the long form interviews, but I'm not putting them out weekly. So I'm going to kind of put them out in batches. And so you can get them early and on video with my Patreon. Or if you stay subscribed to my podcast, The Art of Wrestling on iTunes and everything, you'll eventually see the new ones in 2020. So I know a lot of people miss that. I did enjoy doing the road style. I really did. But I think the bread and butter were the sit-downs with my friends, so we're going to head back to that, but just not every week, just because it did my head in. It was too much. So at my own pace, I'm looking forward to kind of going back to that.
Well, I'm excited to see what you have in store. I liked the format change, but I understand everyone loves interviews. That's why we're doing an interview with you right now.
There you go.
But where can people find the Patreon? Say the URL, and also your tease store.
Yeah, patreon.com/Colt Cabana. Again, for only $4, you can watch all the past archives, and then I put some more fun stuff that's for $5 a month. And then ColtCabana.com, Twitter, Instagram @Colt Cabana, and that's all my stuff is there.
All right, so now we've got some of the serious stuff out of the way. We had MJF crash. I guess that wasn't that serious, but can we go a more fun route and do some rapid-fire questions?
Sure.
Cool,
let's super kick it with Colt Cabana. All right, best deep dish pizza in Chicago. Got to pick one.
Pequod's.
I've never heard of that.
Well, that's where Chicagoans go. Pequod's.
Favorite place in Chicago?
1 Hour Tea Store.
Cheap plug, but it is a cool place. Yeah. 80s or 90s?
80s.
I don't know. I like the 90s myself. 80s is good too.
I mean, I was born in 1980, so.
Beatles or Stones?
I just watched that movie yesterday for a second time, and I think based off that, I'll say Beatles.
All right, Lennon or McCartney?
Oh, I don't care.
It's Beatles over Stones. All right, that's good enough for me.
As a man who only listens to podcasts, I'm not that much of a music buff, so.
I understand. Okay. Who's your wrestling hero?
Les Kellett.
This is a good one. What scares you?
Sexual transmitted diseases.
That's such a weird answer. Seinfeld or Friends?
Seinfeld.
Hell yeah. That is the right answer. No offense, Lagana. Last question. Your spirit animal.
I know this is bad, but just the cute little dogs on dodo.com that I.
Oh, I love Dodo.
Just all of them. I love those little doggies.
That's a good spirit animal to have. And you're as lovable as a dog. Thank you, Colt Cabana. Appreciate your time.
Of course, thank you, Kels.